Dragon Ball Legends releases a lot of units. I mean, 2LFs literally almost basically every month, sometimes more, sometimes less. And a lot of those times units are top 3, top 1, top 10. You know, it's always random. And some other times units are so bad that they cannot even be used when they are released because they are simply just terrible timed releases. And that right there will kill them right when they release. Today, I'm going to be going over units that died the literal second that they came into this game. Now, when I came into the game with Pan, if you know what I mean, I right then and there was the GOAT, and I was using her everywhere. But she never fell off. Ultra LF Pan incoming. Let's get into this. Starting off with one of my favorite units of all time, and that is the Tag Force, aka Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta. This unit released during the Legends Festival, I think part 1 or 2, I'm not sure which one, I think it was part 2. And these guys were very underwhelming. They weren't great. I mean, they weren't bad, okay? Like, if they were released in a normal month, I'm sure they would have been great, and they would have been like, okay, cool. But here's the problem with these kind of units. When you release during a celebration, people expect you to be great. And I mean like top 5 great guaranteed. If you release during a celebration and you're not at least top 5, you're basically a fail and you basically should have never been released. And that was the problem with this unit. They were good, yes, but they were not top 5, which basically made everyone say that they were bad. Now, these guys were not bad, they were good. The problem with them is that they were extremely perfect. Like, there's no overpoweredness in them, and there's no bad thing in them. They made them balanced. There should be no balanced units released during a celebration, and that right there is what killed them. Let's move on to the next unit. I love that unit so much, and it's so sad that they did that dirty, but, I mean, who knows, maybe they can get a Platinum Equipment or Zenkai. They do very well. Their kit is very balanced. Let's move on to the next unit. This is killing me. Next is the Legends Limited that released actually not long ago, and that is Legends Limited Fusion Zamasu. This dude did not release during a festival or anniversary. This dude released on his normal month, so he was great, and his animations were awesome. The problem with him was, again, he was nothing like crazy special. He was not top 3 or 5 in the game. People were saying, oh, this dude's underrated. He does massive damage, and all that is true. He does not tank well. You guys could be like, wait, no, he has a switching gauge, which is, in my opinion, one of the coolest things in a very, very long time. You use cards, you get an attack gauge. When you're getting hit, you get a defensive gauge, and you think that's super smart, but they played it very safe with his gauge because you know how broken it could be, and enable for the gauge to activate or do any of the effects. You have to use one more card to release the gauge, and that's what killed this unit. This unit does not tank. He does make up for it with his gauge. He does combo for a bit. He does insane strike damage if you build him right. This unit is a great unit. He is a very, very good unit, but sadly, when he released, although he was obviously hyped because he released in blah blah blah, he was just not there. All of his kit should not have been that balanced. He was great. He was great in the meta. He was doing very, very well. But after 1 or 2 more units released, he was gone. Like, there was no saving him. He was fun when he released, and after that, he died off. Right now, you see no one running him, but he is an extremely fun unit. You know, the Vanish back on green when it's a strike gauge, but the deletion of Dragon Balls when it's a defensive gauge, how his cards change. It is a super cool kit, and I can tell they spended time on it, but they played it very, very, very safe with him, and that is sadly what killed him in the end. Let's move on to the next unit. Next is a unit that sadly was one of the most dead units on release I have ever seen in a very, very, very long time, and that is Legends Limited Nappa Revival into Vegeta. I believe these guys released literally just before the 5th anniversary, which if you don't know, it's kind of obvious in common sense. When a unit releases before any celebration, they're most likely not going to be summoned on because they want to stay for the celebration, not for a random LF that releases during a month. Not only that, they didn't even cook with the unit. Maybe 80-70% of the time, the unit released before the anniversary is good. You know, they try on him just to make a little bit of people summon, so they can spend even more money because this is a gacha game. No. They did very, very bad with this unit. The only good thing that this unit has is 2 things. 1 is neutrality on green, and 2 is he's a revival. And he's obviously the best revival unit we've gone in a very long time, because Nappa, before revival, is actually a pretty solid unit. He gets cover along green, which no revival unit had before then. He gets good cover, knowing he had the interesting gauge, and he was solid. That's all I'm going to put it. I'm not even going to say he's great. he's solid. Now, if you ran him in PvP, first of all, there were no teams to use him on in the first place. But if you were somehow deterred enough to put him into a game on one of your teams, have fun. Because he is dying right away. He was not tanky at all. He made Pan look tanky. Guys, just imagine Pan sleeping in a bed. And then LF Nappa comes in like, hey, baby girl, like my uncle, how you used to touch me. And he just starts walking in like it's nothing. No, Pan is beating his ass. No questions asked. And then after she's done with Pan, I'm going to beat. Okay, I'm going to go too far with this. But yeah, this unit was absolutely dead. There was very, very, very little things on this unit that were good. Let's move on to the next unit that was actually a very, very, very similar situation to why this Vegeta fell off. Next on the list, I do not know when this man released. I think he released before Celebration, maybe like a month or two before it, and that is Legends Limited Super Baby 2. And the reason he died or was never good on release was basically because no one summoned on him, because his kit was not very amazing when you first read it. But he was definitely one of those units that right when he was added to the game, he was a demon. And since no one summoned for him because he was right before Celebration, nobody knew that. Let me explain why. First of all, his blue card, when you land it, it will when you use it, it will reset his gauge. Second of all, it gives him like what card obstruction when you can't see your cards are on question marks like Cell's blue card does, which is extremely annoying. His gauge fills up in only 3 cards, and it will destroy your cards, your key, move or vanish, so you can just sit there and he can touch you illegally. Man, I wish I had that gauge. But yeah, basically he can do that, which is already stupid. Like, what the hell? His green card is a counter towards strikes, which is good. You know, it gave him a full hand of cards, cover no, reset his gauge. It was basically like Goku Black. This dude was basically the better version of Goku Black. If you compare both their kits, I think Baby's is better, but obviously Goku is better right now because he's more relevant, barely. But yeah, this unit was died off and no one summoned for him because it was right before a Celebration, and he was cooked the moment he released, sadly. This unit is honestly fun to use when you use his ultimate. When your gauge is full, you can lock in, like they cannot switch. That is crazy. You have to turn it into a monkey. A big golden monkey that wants to turn. Oh my god, a monkey. I just love monkeys. Now, before any of you go down to the comments and say, hold on, wait a minute. Revive UI is good right now. He's great. He has a great team and all that. I know that. But we're going off of when he released. And this is another instance of an absolutely terrible release. What were they thinking? Now, let me just quickly explain you why. Right now, he is a very good unit. He has a great team. He pairs well with a lot of units, and he's great. But on release, there was one problem he had. Let me tell you if this rings a bell. A green unit that is a revival, that is blast-based, has a blast blue card, and didn't tank with very little cover null, does what? All that, right? Well, who released right next to him? Ultra Gogeta Blue, who is what? Purple, does what? An extreme amount of damage, and what? A blast cover change, a blast counter gauge that goes against anything this Rev UI can do. What the hell? He was cooked super quickly. Now, when this dude first ever released, like when he exactly released, he was good. Okay, he was good. He was doing his thing. He was good. But then UGB released and erased him. Literally, I am inevitable. I am inevitable. Oh, I'm so inevitable. So inevitable. That's what happened. And then boom, he was gone. Got Majin Vegeta. Poor guy. Honestly, poor guy. He was absolutely dead. I feel so bad. Let's go to the next unit, who released so recently. I don't know how they fumbled this so hard. Next person I have on the list is Super Saiyan God SS Vegeta, or Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta. Oh my god, they fumbled this. This unit is great, okay? Do not get me wrong. He on release, which was literally not long ago at all, he is great. The problem with him is he released, besides MUI Goku, is much hyper, a lot better, and they are complete opposites, so it's super hard to run them together. The whole reason this Vegeta was being used in the first place was to be paired with transforming MUI Goku. And they couldn't do that because these units are completely different. One is melee, one is blast, one tanks, one doesn't, one does this, one does that. They have no connection at all. And they fumbled that so hard that since MUI Goku is hyper and obviously way better, everyone cared about the Vegeta, but nobody wanted to get him anymore. I mean, he's not even being used. You fight MUI Goku almost every match, I can guarantee that. but you never would fight Evolved Vegeta. I mean, you can go into God rank right now. You can go check the God Tube. You would see very little Vegetas and tons of Gokus. And that right there is when they sold on this unit. But he is great. Out of everyone on this list, he's definitely the best. Not even close. But they fumbled him hard because basically they released a next unit that is way better and way completely different. Let's move on to the last unit on this list who was fumbled holy hell hard. Let's see this. Next person on this list is, I believe, another unit that released during the Legends Festival, and that is Legends Limited, Father-Son, Trunks, and Vegeta. Oh my god. This is one of the most disappointing and least hype units ever released for any celebration ever in Dragon Ball Legends. First of all, this unit was not very hype. I mean, for a celebration, they expect a hype unit, and this unit was not very hype at all. So he was basically just dead right on in there. First of all, they weren't very good. They were good, but they were not very, very impressive good, which, like I was saying before, never works out for these types of units. Another thing is they released next to a Sparking that wasn't close to being as good, or it wasn't close to being barely good. No. That was far better. Like, cover null, way better. Damage, way better. Tanking, way better. Comboing, way better. Healing, way better. He outshined this Trunks and Vegeta in every way possible. And this unit was disappointing. Their kit was disappointing. Their animations were okay. Literally cooked the second they released. Guys, that's all for this video. Subscribe to the channel. LF Ultra Pan incoming. I can feel it deep inside of me like she feels me deep inside of her. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Oh my god. These guys are so cooked. Love y'all.